Have you ever been in the same room and hung out with Donald Trump and your brother Jeffrey Epstein? And if you did, what was that like? That had to be kind of interesting. What was that like? Can I ask you this just to start? What was your first reaction yesterday when you heard that Elon Musk put out this tweet claiming that Donald Trump is, quote, all over the Epstein files? What was your reaction to that, Mark, being Jeffrey's brother?
Well, my first question is, which Epstein files are they talking about? Are they talking about the files related to the charges against him, or are they talking about the files related to his murder? There's two sets of files, in a sense. And,
Right.
So if it's the files about his charges, well, back in the 90s and that period of time, they were very good friends. They spent a lot of time together. Trump was in Jeffrey's office quite a lot. They used to fly in each other's planes coming from Florida. So, I mean, I wasn't there, but I know that, Jeffrey would tell me things, and they were good friends back then. Those files. So I don't know what's going to be in those files. I mean, we also have seen the photographs of them together in different settings. But then there's the file of the murder. Okay. Right. I mean, the Justice Department report is filled with inaccuracies, and it's obviously a cover-up. So was Trump involved with that? A lot of people think that, and they tell me they think that Trump had Jeffrey killed to shut him up, because I do know Jeffrey had dirt on Trump. I don't know what he knew, but he told me he had dirt on Trump.
So your brother,
to have the Justice Department cover it up, who else can do something like that?
What can you tell us about that? So you're saying, Mark, that you've had conversations with your late brother, Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein told you that he, quote, had dirt on Donald Trump. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I've already said in the past that in the 2016 election, Jeffrey said that if he said what he knew about both candidates, they'd have to cancel the election.
Wow. Do you believe that was illegal activity that he had?
I don't know what it was, but it was enough that Jeffrey thought they'd have to cancel the election. He said, I don't know what the information was, but Jeffrey wouldn't say something like that to me unless he had information that would be damaging.
So, Mark, do you believe that information that your brother Jeffrey told you that he had on Donald Trump could be the reason why your brother is not alive today?
Yes, I believe that.
Wow. That's so. What Elon Musk said, it's fair to say that you think there could be a lot of relevance. Do you think Elon Musk knows something that the general public does not know?
I think so. I don't know why else he would come out with a statement like that.
Because that would be a blatant lie that could be easily proven. Do you believe that the reason why Pam Bondi and Donald Trump's administration has not released the Epstein files is because it's damning and Donald Trump's name is, quote, all over it?
I really don't want to speculate. I don't know why it's not being released. I mean, that's a possibility, but that's not my call to make.
Right. No, I certainly understand that. But do you think, in a sense, this is a positive that it sheds more light and maybe you'll get a little bit more information? I don't know if you will, about what happened to your brother behind bars.
I hope we can, but it's been an uphill battle because, like I said, it's obviously a cover-up. Because if you took the time to read the Justice Department report that came out 4 years after the death, there's a lot of things in there that's just bullshit. Like it says, they notified me after the death. They never notified me after the death. I heard about it on CNN.
Right.
I was having breakfast and boom, I hear on CNN
that's horrible.
That's
horrible. Yeah, that's not the way you want to find out.
And there's no mention in the official report that the initial autopsy showed that it looked more like a homicide in a suicide. Those results have been glossed over. It's not even mentioned.
Yeah,
they just said that the chief pathologist called it a suicide, and she never saw the body.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans going on there and a lot of people withholding a lot of information. If you're just joining us, his name is Mark Epstein. He is the brother of the late Jeffrey Epstein, joining us right now on the line. So, Mark, I'm sure you've been asked this question before. You hear about the term Epstein Island. Do you believe Donald Trump was ever on Epstein Island with your brother?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
Have you ever been in the same room and hung out with Donald Trump and your brother Jeffrey Epstein? And if you did, what was that like? That had to be kind of interesting. What was that like?
The only time the three of us were together was back in 1999, and I flew up from Florida with Jeff, and Donald was on the plane with us. That's the only time. And then it was just like a funny thing. I mean, Donald was a funny guy. Jeffrey always said he was funny. And, we were talking just, that's the only time we ever spent together.
Why do you think that friendship kind of ended? Because from what I understand is that your brother and Trump, their relationship wasn't so great the last several years of his life. What do you know about that?
Well, I know Jeffrey said he stopped hanging out with Donald when he realized Trump was a crook. That's a quote. That's what he said.
Interesting. And so because you hear a lot of stuff from MAGA world that Trump didn't want to hang out with your brother because of maybe the alleged shenanigans that your brother was involved with. Do you believe that to be a lie? And you're saying that it was your brother that actually did not want to hang out with Donald Trump.
Well, I told you what I know. I told you the last time. I don't like to speculate.
Sure.
I like to stick with facts. And Jeffrey said that he stopped hanging out with Donald when he realized that he was a crook. I don't know what Donald's side of the story is. I wasn't there. I can't corroborate what Donald might say, but I can tell you what my brother said.
Understood. Mark, what would you say to so many MAGA Republicans out there that are, I would use the term cultist when it comes to Donald Trump? They say, nope, Donald Trump did no wrong. He had nothing to do with your brother's death. He wasn't hanging out with your brother at all. They weren't really friends. And this is all nonsense. Elon Musk is a liar. I'm curious, Mark, what would you say to those people?
I really wouldn't say anything to him because, people who, they always say people are entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. Yeah, and people who work on their own facts, they're impossible to convince. So it's a waste of time to try to convince them because, I could tell them to read the Justice Department report, look at the discrepancies in it, but they're not going to. So it's sort of like, you can't convince them that they're wrong or that they have their opinions are not facts. So, it would be a waste of time, and that's not my job.
Sure,
that's not my position. Yeah.
Do you think in the next 3.5 years, anyway, do you think the Epstein files will ever be released? Do you think you'll ever get the answers that you're looking for, and the American people will?
I have no idea. I wish we do, but I can't predict. Yeah.
Well, Mark, listen, I appreciate your time. I'm sorry with what you've had to go through in your family. You deserve the answers, and I do appreciate you coming on and joining us. And we'll see how this thing plays out. But I was surprised, as I'm sure you were, when you saw that Elon Musk tweeted this out about Donald Trump. Right? I mean, I certainly didn't see this coming. I don't think you did either. Right?
No, I didn't. It was a surprise. I was busy all day yesterday. I found out about it when a number of journalists called me to get my reaction to it, and I didn't know what they were talking about at first.
How many?
Just they're acting like children. No, right. Let me fix that because there's a lot of wonderful children out there that anybody would be proud to be parents of. They're acting like spoiled brat kids. The kind of kids that get sent away to military schools to get some discipline in them.
Yeah. No, I understand that. This is some crazy times that we are living in. I hope you get the answers that you deserve, Mark. And I do appreciate you coming back on the show and being honest with us. It means a lot. And I can imagine you have a lot of people that want to talk to you. So I really do appreciate you coming on, Mark. And I wish you the best, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on.